What's up, PlayStation Universe? This is Kyle Prawl, bringing you more E3 2014 coverage from the show floor in Los Angeles, and I just got done playing 45 minutes of Batman Arkham Knight. Now, there's a lot to get through, there's a lot to tell you about from my impressions, so I'm going off my notes here. I'll just kind of run through the list and talk about what I saw. So we started in the second chapter of the game, and it's Batman's first encounter with the Arkham Knight, kind of one of the game's main villains. And we're headed toward Ace Chemical Corporation in this corner of Gotham City, at least what's playable in Arkham Knight. And our job is to rescue 5 chemical workers who are kind of under assault. The Arkham Knight is like sending in mercenaries to kill them. We're not really sure what's going on yet. We just know that Scarecrow's up to something bad and has something to do with Ace Chemical Corporation. So Batman starts on the ground level, talks to Jim Gordon for a bit, and then the first thing I do is grapple hook up to a very high ledge. And I realize grappling has like 5 times the length, the maximum range in this game as in past games. And the Rocksteady rep who's there with me tells me it's because the city is just that much bigger. The playable area in Arkham Knight is 5 times the size of that in Arkham City. So we grapple up there, we get into some combat encounters, and as I'm playing through the demo, we're going through all these new ways that Rocksteady has innovated on Batman combat. There's directional counters, so as enemies are running at you, you can counter and push in the direction that they're coming from, and you'll throw them back in the midst of a counter, possibly towards enemies that are standing back there. There's Combat Masters, a new enemy type, and in this particular demo section, they were like kind of ninja type guys with swords, and the counter window was much shorter for them than other enemies, so it's very key to keep an eye on like what people are wearing, the weapons they're holding, recognize, alright, that's somebody I need to prioritize, that's somebody who can't be, vaulted over, that's somebody who needs a little extra finesse. Environmental takedowns, so there's, just as an example, you might be in a room and there could be a chandelier above you, right? If you stand underneath it and an enemy is coming at you at that point, you'll get the prompt for an environmental takedown, which I think is square and X at the same time, and Batman will punch him a few times, flip up to the chandelier, and like bring it crashing down upon them. So there's all those kind of context-sensitive environmental takedowns, context-sensitive animations, like Batman bashing somebody's head against a steam pipe if it happens to be nearby, kind of like the intro to Uncharted 3. Batmobile assisted takedowns, so another new feature to combat, and I'll talk about the Batmobile in a bit, is how it can factor into your takedowns. In one section of the demo, the Batmobile was just nearby, kind of outside of a window of this room we were in, and did a few punches, taking guys down, and then I got the prompt for the Batmobile takedown. It was a 1-2 punch, flip the enemy up into the air, and the Batmobile pelts him with a non-lethal shot as he's flying midair. Just something totally cool, really dependable you can do when the Batmobile is nearby. So I'm fighting through these enemies, and in a sense, it's very similar to the Arkham combat, the Arkham movement you know and love. It definitely felt weightier to me. They've redone all of Batman's animations, his movement speed, the way he feels, and it definitely felt like very purposeful footsteps, very weighty movement, and I really liked it. Felt awesome. So then we started getting into some Batmobile stuff. This whole time I'm moving through Ace Chemical Company, the Batmobile's nearby me at all times, I'm hopping in and out of it, getting through areas, blasting doors. There were parts where I used the Batmobile to take down some small tanks, both with its kind of just regular bullet shot, and then a missile barrage that you can build up and then mash square to really devastate things. In other parts, the Batmobile was used to solve puzzles. Batman would be inside of a hallway, and he'd be up against, say, an elevator, right, that won't call, the electricity's out. I flip to the Batmobile at any time with a remote control, which is found on the new radial gadget wheel that encompasses all gadgets. That's a change as well. I flip to the Batmobile with remote control, and I can attach to a winch and raise the elevator that Batman needs to get down. In other parts, the Batmobile could remotely blow up a steam pipe that was connected to the room Batman was in and allow him to progress forward. It's super effective for taking out enemies, super effective for taking out large things, and also heavily integrated into puzzles and gameplay. So more than anything, the Batmobile feels like an indispensable part of who Batman is and an indispensable gadget in his arsenal. Graphically, it looked amazing. The frame rate was super stable. Frankly, I'm surprised it's not coming out this year because it looked really far along. It looked great. In the next-gen jump, we've got cool things like communicating with Oracle and Jim Gordon on a virtual screen on his arm versus just hearing those voices. Other things, yeah, Batmobile is super awesome. There's lots of mobility things involved with that. You can summon the Batmobile from anywhere, it'll come up to you. You can glide down to it while summoning and just land in the cockpit. Batman will flip into the cockpit when it's called to him. And it's got an afterburner for burning around corners. Feels great to drive, both in the speed, regular mode and the tank mode for getting around precise corners and precise areas. Tons of environmental destructibility. I mean, I walked away with the impression that this is Rocksteady's finest effort yet. I couldn't imagine that they would have this much innovation on Arkham City, and yet here I am after 45 minutes with Arkham Knight, and it feels fantastic. There's tons of new stuff to talk about, and I can't wait to play it early next year. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening to my Batman impressions, and please stay tuned to PSU.com for more impressions, more gameplay talk throughout the rest of the show. Thanks for watching.